Rush Hudson Limbaugh III, January 12, 1951 to February 17, 2021, was an American conservative political commentator who was the host of the Rush Limbaugh Show, which first aired in 1984 and was nationally syndicated on AM and FM radio stations from 1988 until his death in 2021. Limbaugh became one of the most prominent conservative voices in the United States during the 1990s and hosted a national television show from 1992 to 1996. He was among the most highly paid figures in American radio history. In 2018, Forbes listed his earnings at $84.5 million. In December 2019, Talkers magazine estimated that Limbaugh's show attracted a cumulative weekly audience of 15.5 million listeners to become the most listened to radio show in the United States. Limbaugh also wrote 7 books, his first 2, The Way Things Ought to Be, 1992, and See, I Told You So, 1993, made the New York Times bestseller list. Limbaugh garnered controversy from his statements on race, LGBT matters, feminism, sexual consent, and climate change. In 1993, he was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame and in 1998 the National Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame. During the 2020 State of the Union address, President Donald Trump awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Limbaugh was born on January 12, 1951, in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, to parents Rush Hudson Limbaugh II and Mildred Carolyn, née Armstrong, Limbaugh. He and his younger brother David were born into the prominent political Limbaugh family. His father was a lawyer and a United States fighter pilot who served in the China-Burma-India theater of World War II. His mother was from Searcy, Arkansas. The name Rush was originally chosen for his grandfather to honor the maiden name of a family member, Edna Rush. Limbaugh was partly of German ancestry. The family includes many lawyers, including his grandfather, father, and brother. His uncle, Stephen N. Limbaugh Sr., was a federal judge in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri. His cousin, Stephen N. Limbaugh Jr., is a judge in the same court, appointed by George W. Bush. Limbaugh's grandfather, Rush Limbaugh Sr., was a Missouri prosecutor, judge, special commissioner, member of the Missouri House of Representatives in the 1930s, and longtime president of the Missouri Historical Society. In 1969, Limbaugh graduated from Cape Girardeau Central High School, where he played football and was a boys' state delegate. At age 16, he worked his first radio job at KGMO, a local radio station. He used the air name Rusty Sharp, having found Sharp in a telephone book. Limbaugh later cited Chicago DJ Larry LoJack as a major influence on him, saying LoJack was the only person I ever copied. In deference to his parents' desire that he attend college, he enrolled at Southeast Missouri State University but dropped out after 2 semesters. According to his mother, he flunked everything, he just didn't seem interested in anything except radio. Biographer Zev Shafez asserts that Limbaugh's life was in large part dedicated to gaining his father's respect. In his first New York Times bestseller, Limbaugh described himself as conservative, and was critical of broadcasters and many media outlets for claiming to be objective. He called for the adoption of core conservative philosophies in order to ensure the survival of the Republican Party. Limbaugh criticized the media and political activist movements such as feminism, environmentalism, and animal rights for allegedly serving as outlets for anti-capitalism, secular humanism, and socialism. Limbaugh, a proponent of American exceptionalism, often criticized politicians he believed reject this notion, seeing them as unpatriotic or anti-American. Limbaugh was widely recognized as one of the leading voices of the conservative movement in the United States, beginning in the 1990s. Former President Ronald Reagan thanked him in a 1992 letter, giving him credit for all you're doing to promote Republican and conservative principles. And, you have become the #1 voice for conservatism in our country. In 1994, Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives made Limbaugh an honorary member. From 1994, Limbaugh served as the inspiration for the character of Birch Barlow, a conservative radio talk show host on The Simpsons. In 1995, Limbaugh was profiled on the PBS series Frontline in a 1-hour documentary called Rush Limbaugh's America. Limbaugh refused to be interviewed, but his mother, brother, and many Republican supporters took part, as well as critics and opponents. By the 1990s, Limbaugh had become known for his love of cigars, saying, "I think cigars are just a tremendous addition to the enjoyment of life." During his syndicated television program from 1992 to 1996, he also became known for wearing distinctive neckties. In response to viewer interest, Limbaugh launched a series of ties designed primarily by his then-wife Marta. Limbaugh was awarded the Marconi Radio Award for Syndicated Radio Personality of the Year by the National Association of Broadcasters 5 times, 1992, 1995, 2000, 2005, and 2014. He was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame in 1993 and the National Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame in 1998. By 2001, he inked a $285 million contract for 8 years, which was renewed in 2008 for another 8 years at $400 million. By 2017, Limbaugh was the second highest-paid radio host in the United States, earning an annual salary of $84 million, second only to Howard Stern. In 2002, Talkers magazine ranked him as the greatest ever radio talk show host. In 2017, he was the most listened to radio host in the United States, with 14 million listeners. Limbaugh is given much of the credit for having revived AM radio at a time when most people had switched to FM. Conservative magazine Human Events announced Limbaugh as their 2007 Man of the Year. Later that same year, Barbara Walters featured Limbaugh as one of the most fascinating people of the year in a special that aired on December 4, 2008. On February 28, 2009, following his self-described first address to the nation lasting 90 minutes, carried live on CNN and Fox News and recorded for C-SPAN, Limbaugh received PAC's Defender of the Constitution Award, a document signed by Benjamin Franklin, given to someone who has stood up for the First Amendment. Rush Limbaugh is for America, exactly what Benjamin Franklin did for the Founding Fathers. The only way we will be successful is if we listen to Rush Limbaugh. Reads the citation. In his 2010 book, Rush Limbaugh, An Army of One, Ze'ev Shafez cited Limbaugh as the brains and the spirit behind the Republican Party's resurgence in the 2010 midterm elections in the wake of the election of President Obama. Shafez pointed, among others, to Senator Arlen Specter's defeat, after being labeled by Limbaugh as a Republican in name only, and to Sarah Palin, whose biggest current applause line, "Republicans are not just the party of no, but the party of hell no," came courtesy of Mr. Limbaugh. The author continued with, Limbaugh has argued the party of no conservative course for the Republicans vigorously, notably since 6 weeks after Obama's inauguration, and has been fundamental to, and encouraging to, the more prominently noted Tea Party movement. Rush Limbaugh was inducted into the Hall of Famous Missourians on May 14, 2012, in a secret ceremony announced only 20 minutes before it began in order to prevent negative media attention. A bronze bust of Limbaugh is on display at the Missouri State Capitol building in Jefferson City, along with 40 other awardees. Limbaugh's bust includes a security camera to prevent vandalism. On February 4, 2020, the day after he announced that he had advanced lung cancer, Limbaugh was a guest of President Donald Trump at the 2020 State of the Union address, where he was presented with the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Melania Trump.